everyone.
Hi.
Welcome. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber or you've watched any of my videos, welcome back. My name is Onajiri Awe. I'm a 5th-year medical student in Nigeria. And yeah, I plan to make videos that I wish I watched when I was younger or like earlier in medical school days. But yeah, from the title, you guys already know what this video is going to be about. And today, I have someone very special here to help me talk about this because she's someone that I really respect and I think very highly of. She's very intelligent and she's just a very well-rounded human being. So yeah, introduce yourself.
Hello everybody, my name is Awoibim Jessica Dubluma. Jessica though, but thank you very much. Also a 5th year medical student.
Period.
And this video is gonna be awesome because trust Honor, she's gonna give y'all the deeds that you need. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. Today we're going to be talking about tips that you need if you are preparing for your pathology and pharmacology MP, or just things you should know, things you can do, things that can help you. But before we get into the tips, I just want us to talk briefly about our experience during Path and Pharm, the almighty Path and Pharm. So I'll let you go first.
What?
I'll add one or two.
Path and Pharm. Path and Pharm, basically the way it is done here in our school is that it goes on for a long time.
Yeah.
I say for like almost 2 years. So we do the first part, then go into junior posting, then come for the second part. So that period was very challenging. It was very daunting, and a lot of things happened during that time that really helped define me. I feel like it's a process that will help change you for the better if you let it be. So everyone has to go through it. It will mold you, it will remold you into how you're meant to be, and it will instill a lot of discipline in you if you allow yourself to go through it. So yes, let me just stop there as my experience, because
You guys see why I said Jessica is special. I'm sure you guys are going to hear one or two. Oh my god, it was so hard, it was so this, but you can just see God in her when she speaks. Like, I don't know if you guys are feeling the same thing, but honestly, what she said is so true, and it reminds me of something that one of our consultants kept saying. And the first day I heard that thing, I said, this must be my testimony. He said, Path and Pharm, at the end of Path and Pharm, you can't remain the same way you started. Like, this is beyond just physical or school or like academics. Like, it will push you, it will challenge you, it will test your work with God, it will test your interaction with people. Let's not just get too deep into it, but you can't remain the same ultimately. And many of you watching this are Christians, and if in this entire video the one thing you hold is that at the end of Path and Pharm you should not be the same. Better, we should be better. But yeah, so let's basically get into the tips. So we'll just go one after the other, giving you things that, like, tips that helped us through Path and Pharm. Okay, so my very first tip would be to set realistic goals. Like I said in my other video, the video before this, like, everyone doesn't have the same capabilities, so you should know, just have a goal, have a realistic goal though, so that it is achievable. And then, because of the way the structure is in our school, you can set multiple goals. You can say, okay, for my first end of posting, this is the results I want. For my second end of posting, this is the results I want. And then for my MB, these are the results I want. So when you set those goals, seeing the goals, writing it down and seeing it would also help you take necessary steps to get there. So set realistic goals, know what you want first of all, and then know what you are capable of getting. And let's actually be realistic about what it is that you can do and how you can do it. And it's not you talking down on yourself saying, okay, my goal is 60. Everybody cannot have distinctions. So, and then you also, if you know that you are someone that is capable of getting 80, God helping you, set that goal. And your goals are personal. You don't have to announce it or broadcast it to anyone, so it doesn't seem like anything. It's between you and God. Set your goals and do what you need to do to get those goals. So that's like the first thing I'll tell you. And if you've already written like your block one, like your first end of posting, or your second, whatever stage you are in, as long as you've not finished writing your MB, even if you have started writing the MB as you're watching this video, set goals for the ones you've not yet written. Set goals for all that you have left.
For in addition to that, not like it's a different one, but first thing I have written down here is to pray and have a relationship with God, because that was just a defining moment in my entire journey in Path and Pharm. Although yes, growing up in a Christian household, you have to now determine for yourself, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to do it. And then when you pray, you have that relationship with God, it will be easier for you to achieve those goals that you have set. As I say, it's somehow in addition. Because when you're with the Holy Spirit, when you have the Spirit in you, He will direct you onto what you need to do, how you need to do it, where you need to do it, whatever means. So just that relationship, that personal like interaction with God, that personal fellowship with the Spirit, it will help you, trust me, and you will be better for it. So that is just, it makes it so much easier for you to have a well of strength to draw from, because like we said, it was tasking and you needed, there was just something extra to help push you onto that finish line, push you past the finish line to keep going. So that really helped. That's one thing that I can say is a tip that helped me personally, and I'm very, very sure it helped Honor too, because
definitely
we're here, don't worry, we're here together. So that's a very important tip that you need to take. Okay, now to go on to my second tip here is to have a revision study group. Emphasis on revision.
OMG. Let her finish talking first.
So, okay, the thing was that personally, I do not really like studying with other people, because I feel like I have to digest this information. I have to read it personally and understand it properly before I now start like discussing it with someone else. So number one, the other person doesn't make me feel bad, or like I wouldn't feel bad because the other person is like rapping stuff and I'm like, what's going on? So I would prefer to read and understand well, then afterwards have a revision study group. Mainly during when it's closer to exams, you now come together to revise past questions, you come together to talk more on the topics, ask questions, talk to each other about the various aspects of these different topics. By that time, everyone should have a certain level of knowledge on these topics, so the conversation will flow better, the conversation would work better, so everyone will benefit a lot more than when it's just like maybe one or two other persons teaching others, and then you're like, okay, I'll go and read it later. You will not read it first, so you would flow better. For me.
Thank you, Jessica. And I just have to add, first of all, in my own notes, group study had 3 exclamations at the back. Well, I'm so happy that she put that adjective, that caveat, revision group study, revision study group. Like, personally, before I used to be like, study groups are this, that, because I didn't really understand what it should be like. The way people presented study groups to be was, we come together and teach and blah blah blah, and it doesn't have to be like that for you, because for me, and like what Jessica explained, group study was everybody should have read, everybody should have, it doesn't mean you understand 100%, because that's the point of group study. But then when you come together, apart from answering past questions, which was like so important, I don't even know is a separate point, but I might as well just add it. Apart from answering past questions together, when you read something, you might think you understand. When you now see a question, it will be looking different, and it will be like, oh, I guess I didn't understand it this much or in this way. And having other people that can, help you understand better, explain better, and all of that is so important. And when you've not read, you are actually doing a disservice to yourself. Times when I've not read something and I go for group study, I used to leave there almost crying, because I'm like, what have I been doing? It's also a push for you to go and do more, do better. And honestly, I can't overemphasize, if you're in medical school right now and you're especially prepared for Path and Pharm, meaning you are up to 400 level and you don't have a group study, please, it's not too late. You can't do it on your own. Medical school is just, you honestly can't do it on your own, because even there are things that you might skip that will come to your attention during group study. There are things that a lecturer might have said in class that until you go to for group study, you will not know Shout out to Cynthia if you're watching this video. Thank you for always telling us all the things we missed in class. But really, group study is so important, and the people you do group study with is just as important. If you are going to a place where you are constantly pouring and nobody is pouring into you, it's useless in all areas of life, honestly, not even just academics. It's useless where you are only pouring, you're the only one giving, nobody is giving to you. So even if you are very, very intelligent, if you're in a place where nobody can teach you anything, then you need to be with a different set of people. And then also another tip for like group studies, I don't know how many of you guys were in your group study, but being a lot, the larger the number, the more difficult it is to control and monitor. Exactly. So put a cap on it, like put a cap on the number you want to be, so that it's not rowdy, it doesn't turn into an over social gathering. And obviously don't be too serious also, like sometimes cut yourself some slack, but then have a cap. So yeah, the next point was past questions, or is past questions, but I touched a little bit on it in the group study point. But yeah, like past questions are so important because, like I said, you might have read something and you actually feel like you understand it, but then when you see a question and you're like, this question is from this topic, how come I can't answer it?
From where?
So you would have an idea of it, will help you even guide your reading, because when you're reading, you're like, okay, these are the types of questions they ask. As I'm reading this paragraph now, how can it answer this format of question that I've seen in exam before? Do you get? So doing past questions will definitely help you. I don't know if you have anything to add on, like past questions.
That's exactly everything that she just mentioned. Past questions are really important. Some people that I've heard talk about past questions, they're like, okay, at the beginning of each session, once they see a topic, they go through the past questions and check any question that relates to this topic and just maybe glance at it to see how they may have set a question for that topic before they even like start reading. So when they read it, like, oh, okay, it's true, I think I remember a topic like they set a question like this, you know. So it will guide you, like I said, just streamline your actions when reading, so you think of the possible ways they can set a question from this part, and then you'll be able to answer it much better. So yeah. So on to my tip number 3. Sorry. My next tip would be to have a spiritual accountability partner, because it will really help a whole lot. So yeah, intentionally know that you have been called to something higher. You have been called to service. You have been called as a son, as a joint heir with Christ. But in this journey of Pat and Pharm, sometimes you may forget. Sometimes it may be difficult. Sometimes it may push you so much that you just can't seem to see past what's going on right now. So that's why you need someone else. You need someone to hold your hand during this journey. You need someone that can also be a pillar of strength, someone that can also help advise you, someone that when you're weak and weary, you can just go there and say, please, just help me. That can breathe life back into you from the word of God, and can hold your hands and pray with you and reassure you and revitalize you. You just need someone else. Apart from a study group, like you said, see, there's a trend going on that relationships are important. Yeah. Study group, and now I've mentioned a partner, an accountability partner. So you need to surround yourself with good people that will help you achieve the goal that you want to achieve, that you have put in your heart, that you have set out to do. So with this now, the person can help Bible study, right? The person can help you with prayers. The person can help you with strength, speaking good words unto you, help to replenish your soul when you're down, because sometimes you just be, I'm like, I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I don't know what's going on. I just need someone to say, okay, calm down. Let's just pray. Let's relax. Let's just speak to you from the spirit. Just read the word and just go through it. And also sometimes your devotional life may not be as scheduled anymore because we have a lot. So the person can help to remind you. The person can help to say, okay, it's time, take a break, let's do this, let's do that, and then you will be better for it. Do you have something to add on that?
Yeah, well, last year I feel like this was even before like we resumed pattern farm last year when we were doing junior posting. That was when I first joined an accountability group, and honestly, that was probably my biggest blessing last year, like having those people push me. And also my relationship with Jessica before last year,
she introduced me to the accountability group. Don't mind, you did it.
And like we were friends before, but I'm glad to see the way our relationship is moving and how it's growing. And that stemmed from that accountability group. I now saw that okay, I have someone that is both my classmate and someone that has goals, academic goals similar to mine and spiritual goals similar to mine, and it's made me draw closer to her. And during pattern farm, in how many years of friendship, I can count how many times I've been to Jessica's room during pattern farm. I was coming to her room like, and she would always have the right word for me. And even though sometimes I even bring my own problem to her, sometimes I might say something that she needed to hear by the power of the Holy Spirit, and it was amazing. So like she said, like that's actually a very, very important thing during that time. My last two tips, I'm just going to like put it in one. I don't know what I will call it, but I will name it. But basically it is having a format for answering questions and knowing how to manage your time during exams. Like bruh. Thank God all this is past tense, Sha, for us. For you guys, it's still future, so you still have the chance to like implement all these things. But having a format for answering all your questions in exam is so important, because let me just tell you, there's no way you know everything. That's just the fact. But when you have an outline, you know something about everything, and that is more important than knowing everything about just a little. If that makes sense.
Preach.
So like, let me use microbiology for example.
Good example.
If they say, okay, in our exam they said discuss diphtheria, I had not read diphtheria, mind you. The day before exam, it was in my heart to open diphtheria slide. I opened it up to 3 times and I closed it after the first 2 slides, because I was just like, I don't want, this is not entering, blah 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 blah, and I did not read it. But then that was the question in the exam, and it didn't even have like other things under for like the whole question was right on diphtheria, and all I did was write my outline, which was like introduction, the causative organism, details about the organism, then the pathogenesis, mode of transmission, clinical features, then the management all together. That's the treatment and everything. And when I tell you, I gathered knowledge from hearing in class, from what I've seen on Twitter, from what I've seen on Instagram, from what I've seen in the news, from the one picture from pediatrics that was in my head, and that was what I used to outline. Like, I was able to synthesize what the possible clinical features could be, because all I was picturing was that throat. And I was like, okay, what can result from this? And that was how I started saying, okay, these are possible clinical features and da 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 da. If I had not made an outline, I wouldn't have known anything to write. I would just say diphtheria is caused by kiniko. Finish. And then like, I think that was a revelation to me, how important it was to like have an outline and everything. And then for time management and knowing how to answer questions, I don't know how it is in your university, but in my university, thankfully, we have lecturers that are not, many of them are kind enough to say, okay, if I set for my own part, I'm expecting this, hold that, because there are different people that will mark different questions. So like, it's important to know what they're expecting. Like, go into the examiner's mind and imagine what are they expecting from me when they ask this question, and just try to like follow that. Then for time management, many questions, like most times each question has the same mark. So if you've answered a question of 25 marks, like you know everything in that one, and then another question you don't know much, don't now spend all your time writing every single detail that you remember about the first question. Yes, because also many people do like close marking, and they, after writing, replicating the textbook, you can't get more than 20 over 25. So you've spent all your time there, and then you now don't have enough time to think about the other ones. So like, divide your time, perhaps give equal time to each one, but then for something you know, maybe finish even faster, and then give the time to something you need to think more about. And it's honestly best for you to answer everything and then go back and add things, instead of spending time just answering the first 4 and then you're now not able to answer number 5. So try your best to like manage your time, put the key points, outline and all of that, and honestly you will come back and share your testimony.
So yes, everything she has said. My last 2 points, as she has summarized, so I also have to summarize.
No, you don't have to, you can separate it.
Okay, so we have 1, I rather number 4, be disciplined. It's very, very important for you to know your time, know how to maximize your time in everything you do. For instance, we have classes, we also have lab sessions, then you have your time back in the hostels to read and all. When you're in class, be in class. Let your mind be there. Think of everything, listen to the lecturer, ask questions that you need to ask there and there. Don't say, oh, I will read it later, I beg, I'm tired right now, I want to read it, I'll read it later. That later that you're pushing the questions to, that you research on it, you should have used it to do something else. You would have used it to read more, like you would have covered like 10 slides by that time, and you've already like not used your time properly. So basically, be disciplined enough to know, when I am doing this, let me do this. What I am doing, I want to do this. Like sometimes Anna mentions that she even prefers when she was in Pharm because you're more you have to be structured. You will know, okay, today I have classes from 8 to 10, from 10 to 12 I have to do this, from 12 to 1 I have to do this, from 1 to 2, you know. So be disciplined with your time and also with your activities during that time, because not just to say set it and then keep pushing things, procrastinating. No. This is a time for you to be strong and to be disciplined and say, no, I have to do this at this particular time, because after now I may not be able to do it again. So it will really help you control your self-control and help you read better, because you know, okay, when you're done with everything you need to do, you'll be able to focus. If you don't, sometimes you'll be reading and be like, I thought I had to do this, Jesus, I forgot. Okay, or rather I said I'll do it later. Your mind will now not be as focused as you should be. Okay, so back to you.
Okay, so before Jessica's last point, I realized I have another point here, which is to take every aspect of the whole thing seriously. And by that I mean, because as she was talking, she mentioned having labs and all these things. Practical,
very, very important.
In our first part of Pharm, I hated, I detested, I despised
It's okay.
with first practical sessions. Like I hated it so much. And then going into the second part of Pharm, I had like a completely different mindset. So I was just like, okay, like let me actually see what's in this practical. And then that was when I also started to like realize how much of the mark of our final mark practical was putting in. So I decided to take practical seriously, and it saved me multiple times. There were some times where the exam, like the MCQ and the theory, it didn't feel like it was really good or it was the best. And when I saw my score, when they broke it down and showed us the practical score as well, I realized that it was the practical that really, really helped me. So I know it can be challenging, I know it can be difficult, but like don't see, I don't know, there was this mentality I used to have that theory always was more important than the rest. And maybe it's because of my primary school, secondary school, I don't know, but the mark was not the same then. But now, like, every mark counts, and in the same vein, every part of your CA also counts. Your first part, for people in my school, your block 1 first end of posting, it matters a lot. The second part matters a lot. All those are contributing. See, 5 marks is a lot in medical school. So every single mark counts. Every single mark is important. So take everything seriously, including your practicals, or maybe even especially your practicals. Like, they are very, very important. And then there's some knowledge from practical that you end up applying to even answer your theory questions and your MCQ questions. So yeah, everything counts. So take every single small segment as important. Even your presentations, take them seriously. Yeah.
So on to the last point. for me is just like, if you're a visual person like I am, like I keep imagining a lot. So if you're the type of person that you have such imaginations, apply that to your studies. If you're learning about things like maybe say hypertension, learning about the blood vessels, imagine it, picture it in your head that okay, this is how it is. If the plaques form, if something from atherosclerosis, just things like that. Imagine it step by step in your head. Picture the organ, picture the pathology, picture everything. It helped me remember it a lot, because if you tell me a topic, I have a picture in my head that relates to that topic. So also watch videos if that helps. I loved animation videos, those ones that they like show you everything, how the if the cells they are developing, joining on top of one another, things like that. So they helped me. So if you can use other materials, watch videos, animations, things that can help. Know yourself and know how to apply yourself properly to achieve the best results that you want to get. So that's my last.
Wow. So thank you so much, Jessie, for
Thank you, Anna,
coming and giving us these important, amazing tips. I'm definitely like taking one or two things from it, because even though I'm not doing pattern farm, this is still important anyway. So for anyone that is preparing for pathology and pharmacology, that is going through it right now, that is like having a difficult time, that is struggling with their devotion with God, they're struggling with their mental health, I just honestly pray that God would visit you and help you and give you everything you need to like go through this season, and you will have a testimony. You will come out victorious at the end of the day, in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Yes, and I just, speaking of the accountability group you mentioned earlier, I'm just going to like put my Instagram. So if you're interested, you can DM me if you're interested in having an accountability partner for any season of your life. You don't have to be a partner farm right now. You can just send me a DM and I'll give you like more details on how to like join the group and be a part of the community. And yeah, I honestly hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it helped you gain something. And yeah, thank you for watching. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, support us, support me. Subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, like it and share it to someone that needs it. Share it to someone that is in medical school, share it to someone that is in uni, any uni, honestly, that would like this. I think this can be like applied to anyone.
Every field.
So yeah, I have a lot of exciting videos, you guys, and you'll see Jessica more by God's grace.
Cameo.
See you guys in my next video. Bye.
Bye.